For years, the Yautja have been presented as an intergalactic race of alien hunters who use an advanced arsenal to hunt their quarry. However, on occasions, they have been shown to test their skills in unarmed battle. Numerous films have depicted Yautja fighting in hand-to-hand combat, however, in my opinion, they have never got it right. Therefore, I am led to ask the question, if Yautja warriors were real, what would their style of fighting look like? In the original movie, we witnessed the predator known as the Jungle Hunter slay an elite military team with an array of formidable alien weaponry. However, in its final encounter with its most challenging opponent, the alien seemed to disarm in order to level the playing field and test its might against the poster boy of 80s action heroes. During this challenge, the predator seemed to toy with its prey and almost emulated a very human style of fighting. However, I always got the impression that if it really wanted to kill Dutch, it could have done so instantaneously. Years later in AVP, we saw the bulky and brutal Celtic throw a xenomorph around like a pro wrestler. Again, the portrayal of this alien's fighting style seemed very human. Similarly, the sequel to this film being AVPR saw Wolf best a couple of xenomorphs with his bare hands before matching the oversized monstrosity that is the Predalien in strength. 2018's The Predator also saw the fugitive use devastating strikes and throws to perform his escape from the facility. Despite using many human-style moves, I feel that this was the closest any film got to presenting us with the fighting skills of a predator. Yes, the worst film gave us the best predator fighting style, however even this was not good enough in my humble opinion. Finally, Prey presented a primitive predator who was completely bamboozled by the spinning attacks of Naru as he could not seem to keep up with his diminutive opponent. The fighting style of these fascinating characters has always been a point of interest to me. But why have so many films portrayed their combat skills so unimaginatively? Surely, such an impressive creature design deserves a more unique and alien form of fighting as opposed to something so human. In order to understand how a Yautja would fight, first we must look at its physiology and other physical capabilities. The large humanoid body structure. Yes, the Yautja tend to typically stand over 7 feet and are presented as physically strong or in some cases muscular creatures. By standing upright on 2 feet and having 2 arms and a head, Yautja do resemble us, and of course there would be some parallels in our fighting styles. Obviously, they would be capable of using brute strength to manhandle their opponents with throws, strikes and slams, but that would be just one element of their fighting style. Unfortunately, this seems to be the one element that Hollywood is fascinated by as they continue to anthropomorphize these creatures. The mandibles. The menacing mandibles of these creatures has never been fully explored in films and have often served as a point of weakness rather than an offensive part of their anatomy. However, in my mind, they would have evolved to seize prey and pull them into its jaws for a devastating bite. So why have we never seen this on the big screen? Clearly, a missed opportunity. Clawed hands and feet. The lethal-looking claws on the hands of a Yautja allow it to easily tear into the back of a human and pull out their spine. This would lead me to believe that they would use slashing attacks, inflicting fatal scratches on the anatomies of their prey. Its feet have similar claws and it may be able to disembowel its prey with a well-placed kick, much like a cassowary. The large cranium. The massive head of a predator seems to possess a very dense bone structure as well as horn-like protrusions on some individuals. As described in one story, a predator managed to crack the carapace of a xenomorph with a single headbutt. When you consider that the runner alien fell into a vat of melted metal and came out in one piece, then this is a hell of a feat of strength. Therefore, I am led to believe that headbutts would play a major part in their offense. The dreadlock appendages. Yes, this might sound like a strange one, but I do feel that the dreadlock appendages of a predator can act as a weapon. On too many occasions, films and comics have depicted these as Yautja hair that can be cut or styled at will, whilst others have presented them as skin-like growths. I tend to agree with the latter, which suggests that cutting their dreadlocks could cause them to bleed. So how can they be used as weapons? Simply put, the density of these long growths would see them used like a whip in close-range combat, where the predator would swing its head, slashing the face of its opponent with a stinging strike. The kill gland. The Hishku-10 in particular are said to have a kill gland which produces a secretion that augments their strength and aggression. If the urges generated by this gland are not suppressed, these individuals will kill anything in sight. Again, this trait elucidates the Yautja's more animalistic traits, much like an elephant in musk or a chimpanzee that has reached sexual maturity. Now that we have looked at their anatomy, let us explore some of their physical capabilities outside of fighting. One of their most obvious physical traits is the ability to traverse the trees like a primate. In actual fact, the original film did try to use a chimpanzee to perform the scenes where the predator was moving around in the trees. Yautja seem to have the fast twitch muscle fibers of a predatory cat and can swing from the trees with consummate ease. To navigate the canopy as easily as this whilst weighing in excess of 400 pounds is an enormous feat of strength. That would be the equivalent of a lion climbing the trees like a leopard or a gorilla being as agile as a chimpanzee. For me, this level of strength would give the Yautja phenomenal physical capabilities that would see it annihilate any human being, no matter how strong or combat trained they were. Another physical capability Yautja have are the ability to run at high speeds, much like a racehorse. The way the feral sprinted in prey would allow the Yautja to strike its victims with incredible velocity. Being struck by something that weighs over 400 pounds at 30 miles per hour would surely be devastating. Additionally, Yautja have been shown to be capable of performing incredible feats of strength, such as smashing guns with their bare hands and pressing bears overhead. Finally, these characters have also been presented as immensely tough and durable creatures who can continue fighting after losing limbs and taking massive damage. After exploring the Yautja's aforementioned physical traits and superhuman capabilities, I can only glean that the Yautja would adopt their own very unique style of fighting. Ultimately, this would look nothing like the way they have been presented to fight on the big screen. So if a Yautja were not toying with its human opponent and truly wanted to kill them, how would it actually fight? For me, the Yautja would utilize their agility to use almost ape-like jumping and spinning attacks, pouncing on their quarry, then slashing with claws. I do not see them slowly stalking their prey whilst delivering powerful throws and strikes, but to the contrary, a frenzied savage attack, much like something from an enraged chimpanzee. I could see a Yautja grabbing its human opponent by the throat, then leaping 20 feet into the air before slamming them into a tree. Ultimately, a Yautja would utilize a much more animalistic and far less human style of combat. Think chimpanzee, gorilla, mandrill and lion as opposed to pro wrestler or MMA fighter. So are there any existing fictional character fighting styles that I think would suit a Yautja? Well, actually yes there are. I think a Yautja would fight a lot like Street Fighter's Blanka from the popular video game franchise. Now I do not mean the electric thunder or rolling attacks, but certainly his headbutts, bites, scratches, spinning kicks, and Amazon River Run. It is basically this animalistic savage fighting style that would suit a predator and what I would love to see in a future film. As I have said before, no human should have any chance against a Yautja, no matter how tough they are. It would either take a group effort, lethal munitions, or ingenuity where traps are used to lure the alien to its death. Even with this in mind, however, would any human be fast enough to lead such a creature into a trap during a fight? Personally, I think it would be long over before the opportunity arose. In 2018, I actually pitched my idea for a Predator movie that I would like to see. It involved a group of whalers that were being hunted by a Yautja. Although I was unsure if this film would end with the death of the predator or the humans it was hunting, one thing was clear. If they were going to defeat the Yautja, it was going to be a group effort where each member of the team would need to use their task-specific skills as a whaler to slay the beast. In order to elucidate my point, I will be writing the final scene to that story, which I will read and upload to this channel. Therefore, if you wish to watch that, then please stay tuned. So I ask again, why have the movies always presented these fictional characters as fighting in similar styles to humans? My best guess is that the original films would have struggled to create the effects needed to emulate the agile fighting maneuvers that I'm referring to. However, a film like Prey, released in 2022, should not have had this problem. Is this therefore lazy filmmaking, or are the film producers underestimating the fighting capabilities of these intergalactic hunters? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments section and how you would imagine a Yautja fight in hand-to-hand combat. Until then, I hope to see you in the next upload. Take care.